Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. And as you can see, I'm back on my on-air manager career, but there's a very big change. And as you can tell from the scenery here, we are not in LaGuardia or tri-state area of New York. We are basically in Alaska. So what I have done is, because I was getting bored of flying over city, I decided why not we create a new company and we started in Alaska, where the scenery is going to be very beautiful and different from what we are used to. So that's what I've done basically. Right now we are somewhere in Alaska, uh, in an airfield called Niner Zulu Niner, and this is going to be basically our first mission. All I've done is opened up the company. We bought Kodiak 100 because that is what we're going to be using to fly all our missions, and I've gone ahead and done the check ride. So without further ado, let's go ahead and prepare for our next flight, which is going to be our first flight for our new company. We have 5 business class passengers, so let's go ahead and load them up. And we have some cargo. In this one, I'll do things a little bit differently, so let's see. Right now we have enough fuel for 333 nautical miles. Is that true? I'm just gonna fill up just a little bit. And yeah, what I'm gonna do is, okay, where are we heading to? Merrill Field, which is around 50 nautical miles away. So we'll set all that up shortly. Let's go ahead and validate our fuel and everything else. So while that's getting set up in our on-air manager, let's go ahead and start our checklist. So first thing first, both the fuel shut off will come on, harnesses will go to lock, and firewall shut off valve will be pushed in. Other than that, we don't really need to do much right now. And here you go. Everything ready, we can start flying. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click fly now. But before we start tracking, we're gonna keep an eye on something. So the fuel and the total payload, we are going to actually we are not going to let it set automatically. We will do it ourselves. So we're gonna go ahead, remove our auto set. Why can't I remove it? Okay, there you go. Auto set is removed, and we will go ahead and, so right now you can see start tracking is actually grayed out, which means we have to fix it in our simulator, and only then we can fly. So in terms of fuel, we need how much? We need 126 more gallons of fuel. So I'll go to weight and balance, and 126. This should be good. Sim. Oh, hold up. 800 something. Yeah, there you go. We are close there. And then our payload. So we are not going to be flying with any passengers, which means we can remove that. Our pilot weight is 190 pounds, and other than that we have 5 passengers. So let's go ahead and start from row 2. We'll put standard 170. We'll go 170, 170. Oops, 1700. Nope. Okay, so far we are very close. Let's go ahead, and as you can see, our center of gravity is backing up a lot, so we're gonna put two more passenger. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put those on our left and right, on the first row, so that will balance out everything. Okay, we have 5 passengers, and now we just need some cargo, which was 297, and we'll put them on the cargo load. So on the first one, 297, which means 145. We can go at 140 and 140, and that is it. All our payload is set, and now if I bring it, all of these are greens, and we can start tracking. Now the reason why I did this is, if I start tracking this flight, okay, we have our flight tracking started. We'll just keep on the flight data page, which I like to. and we don't have any weather information or anything, so I'll just keep an eye for a windsock. Simulator is very cranky today. Okay, so our tracking started. Now the reason why I went ahead and did all that is we can now see our passenger. We have Jim here and we have to name the rest of them, but yeah, we can see our passenger. When we start tracking earlier with auto set, everything would be filled in, like 2 seats or 1 cargo pod and stuff like that. So to avoid all that and to keep the realism in, we did that. Now that everything is ready, let's go ahead, turn on our master. Avionics can come on, and we'll turn our nav lights and our beacon light as well. Let me bring my displays on my iPad so I can see it better. Okay, there you go. Okay, now that we have all that set, first thing first, we're gonna go ahead and turn on our engine. For that, very simple, our beacon light is already on. All the levers and everything I can see next to me is set correctly, so let's go ahead and first turn our auxiliary fuel pump, then ignition, and we'll put our starter to low. Once we have that, I'm just gonna monitor my NG right here. Once that reaches 14%, which it did right now, I'll put my fuel condition lever to low idle. Now I just have to watch until my NG reaches minimum 53%, and then I can shut off all the starter, ignition, and auxiliary fuel pump, and our prop can go max. Almost 53, there you go, 53 is up there. All that goes off, auxiliary bus comes on, generator, alternator is on, and prop will go max. Now that we have all that set, let's go ahead and set up our flight plan. We'll go to flight plan, and our origin is Niner Zulu Niner. So let's go ahead, find that. Niner Zulu and Niner. There you go. We'll enter. There is no airport. Runway weather or anything like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and pick one. I'll just pick runway 33. Enter, and then our destination should have weather. And our destination is Papa Alpha Mike Romeo. So let's go ahead and find that. Papa Alpha Mike Romeo. There you go, Merrill Field is here, and there we have the weather for it, 306 at 3 knots. Let's choose that. Runway 34 is A-OK. We'll press enter, we'll go to procedure. Let's see what procedure we have. All visual mostly, so we're gonna just choose runway for visual 34, and we'll pick up straight minimums. I will keep it radio altimeter of 350. With that set, we can load and we'll be good. Now what is the elevation for? Seems like it will be very close. Yeah, final approach fix. So the elevation is pretty normal, but our elevation right now is pretty high. Let's go ahead and set our altimeter. I'll just press B key. So our elevation right now is 500 feet almost. Okay, with all that set, let's go ahead to our PFD, set up our autopilot. So for cruising, it's 50 nautical miles. So for cruising, I'm just gonna set up 8,500. I mean, that should do us. We'll start with vertical speed. We'll climb in. We have to climb at a little bit steep. So I'll keep 2,000 for now. I'll just monitor it. And once I feel comfortable, I can go ahead and turn on the autopilot. CDI will be GPS, and I think we're good. And one more thing, now that we're going to be flying in Alaska, we always have to check our ways. So as you can see, most of the things are yellow. So the way that I'm planning it, I might hand fly it through this narrow passage. So once we take off from runway 3, we'll go straight ahead. We'll take this narrow passage. We'll take this small way between 2 mountains, and then come out over there into the body of the water, and then it's gonna be a straight approach. So with all that said, it's gonna be a lot of hand flying. I'm very, very excited about that, and we are right next to the runway as well. Let's go ahead and get ready for our departure. With everything being set, let's turn our taxi light, set our flaps to take off, and our rudder trim. I'm just gonna put a little bit. I don't have to put too much rudder trim. Yep, everything is right here. Okay, we are good here. We can go ahead and start taxiing to the runway and get ready for start. Get ready for takeoff. Just checking all my checklist. Engine starts done. Taxi. Flaps is set. Rudder trim is set. Let's go ahead and take our parking brake off, and we'll be heading towards the runway. One thing that I have to know is how do I find out the weather for airfields that don't have meteor information. I mean, I can just look at the windsock. There you go, there is a little bit of crosswind, so I'll be good. I think I made the right choice. Now that we are here and lined up with the runway, we're just going to stop right here, not waste too much runway. Taxi light can go off, landing and strobe can come on, auxiliary fuel pump will come on, and fuel condition level will go high idle. With that set and ready, let's go ahead and begin our journey in Alaska. Very excited about this, honestly. I was not enjoying much of flying in the urban areas. Really wanted something like this. We'll take off shortly. 60, 65. So let's go ahead.
Airborne time log.
Very strong push by the wind. Just bring my rudder trim back. I'll turn on my yaw damper, and yeah, we are off. I'm just gonna watch my map there.
080 at 5 knots.
Flaps gone completely up. The wind is very strong, I think. Yeah, it's a complete crosswind. I can turn off my auxiliary fuel pump. This is gonna be really fun flying here. Like, I'm very excited for this. You can see on the little display on our PFD, it is absolutely red everywhere, so we have to avoid those zones, and it's the yellow ones that we're gonna navigate through. Finally, we don't have to really use autopilot for too long. We can simply just navigate. I guess mostly it's straight, so we're gonna take a left, upcoming left, and then we will take a right after that. What did I press? Okay. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of hand flying, which honestly I'm gonna enjoy. Kodiak is just so fun to fly. In terms of approach, it's gonna be a simple approach. Everything will be visual. We're trying to climb here, but a little bit problems. I'm gonna increase my power just a little bit. So this is the left turn that we're gonna take right now. And I think that gap between two mountains on my left window is the passage that we're gonna use to get to the body of water. Everything is snow capped over here. I had a tough time selecting what area to really choose for this bush trip. I mean, not bush trip, sorry, for this on-air career. Like, I was thinking maybe we can go to Papua New Guinea, because that's where I started watching the Missionary Bush Pilot YouTube channel. Such a good guy, and that's from where I really got interested in the plane itself. So I'm like, should I do there? But then I was like, you know what, no, I actually want to go to Alaska. That's gonna be really fun, and here we are. So we're gonna be using heading mode. I think that's what's gonna be good here. So let me go heading. Let's select heading, and we will. There you go. This should be good. We can start our autopilot right now if you want to. So I'm gonna go ahead, turn on the autopilot, and we're good. So we'll be climbing at about 2000. Gotta keep an eye on that. I mean, our speed is good so far. We'll just need to adjust our heading every now and then, making sure we avoid all the tall mountains. And I think for my altitude I'm gonna keep it to 6,500. Now that I know we're gonna be clear of all the mountains, 6,500 will be our cruising altitude, and yeah, we should be good. Hopefully the passengers are doing good back there. So we're soon going to start turning right at around 330. There we go. That's the gap between the mountains that we are targeting right now. We're gonna fly through these straight to the body of the water, and then we'll be free. Also have to keep an eye on the top of descent. Which will be coming up in 7.5 minutes. Yeah, flying over here we're gonna learn a lot more, and it will be fun. Definitely. I'll bring down my RPM to about 2000 as we are cruising right now. Almost there. There you go. We are at 2000 and we're cruising along. Nice. Changing my heading a little bit more. So right now all I have to do is make sure we are headed towards this passage, and also keep an eye on the top of descent and start descending. If we zoom out a little bit, there you go. The top of descent is right over here, which means I'll start descending when I'm like somewhere around here. Okay, let's go back. Turn a little bit to the right. I can obviously go above the mountains, but I kinda wanna take this route. Keeping us clear of the mountains in case of any emergencies. That actually in Kodiak 100 it can happen. So I've seen a lot of videos and I've even read in their website. So there's like an engine life for this Kodiak. So if you do a lot of low start that we are doing, which we have to avoid, we'll try to get the GPU unit to have high starts. But yeah, having a lot of low starts or overstressing the engine can cause the Kodiak's life cycle to increase really fast, and then when you reach that certain age where the engine is no longer that good, the Kodiak is just gonna stop. And also when I first didn't know how to turn on the engines and everything, and making sure all the RPM and everything is in greens and T's in greens, I have blown the engine multiple times. Like, you can literally blow out the engine, and that's gonna decrease the life of the Kodiak drastically. So you gotta really keep an eye on all of that when you're flying the Kodiak 100. So yeah, I'm just trying to avoid that. If in case I've overused my Kodiak and the time has come where it will give up, the engine will give up, I don't want to be somewhere like on top of the mountains scrambling to find a field to land. And if I stay on this trip, maybe in terms of in case of an emergency, I can find something below me. But yeah, this is just beautiful. We are not too far away, and our top of descent is in about 5 minutes. Our airport is somewhere at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And let's go ahead check our meter information for our destination. So altimeter is 2950, which is same as we have right now. Other than that, winds are calm as of right now, and we chose the runway that's the easiest for us based on the previous wind information that we had. Other than that, everything else is looking good, so it should be a normal flight, nothing crazy. And we are 4 minutes away from our top of descent. Once we get to this place, or even like closer somewhere over here, that's when we're gonna start descending down, and we should be fine. I think what I can do is let's try this. Yeah, let's try this. So right now we are flying in altitude hold mode, and what I want to do is put my altitude down to about, let's check how much. So our first waypoint restriction is 1273 and the second is 478. So what I will do is I'll keep it at around 380. I'll set it around 380 and I'll let VNAV descend. Now also with that I have to definitely keep an eye on the terrain ahead of us and all that. So let me, or you know what, I'll start from 1200 and then we'll see how low we go. Let me set 1200 on my altitude selector. So 1200 is set, and I'll click the VNAV button. VPath is armed, and once we cross over the top of descent, we shall start descending. I'm not sure how it's gonna work because we are actually not gonna cross over top of descent, as it's on somewhere like left of us. So let's see how that works. So that body of water is actually a body of snow and ice, I feel, because it's completely white over here. We'll just take that empty space and then we'll be lined up with our runway. Should be a fun flight, and should be a series of fun flights coming up as we continue our company in Alaska. And the airport that we're going to, I keep forgetting the name. Yeah, Merrill is basically our FBO, so that is our base airport, and we'll be around this area a lot. And one thing I feel like when we were doing this on-air missions back in New York City area, tri-state area, it was like a lot of different places and smaller airports and bigger airports and all that. But around Alaska, it's gonna be a lot of similar routes, which is also gonna be fun in one way. But we'll also get to see a lot of different scenic routes, a lot of mountains, greens, and not just buildings. It took me a while to think, should I do it? Because I'm already comfortable with the company that I have right now. But I think I made a right choice. It's gonna be fun, something different. I'll start turning my aircraft here. Not too much. We are very close to this mountain, even though we're clear in terms of altitude. Our top of descent is around a minute away, it says. I want to see how active it is. Actually, I just forgot. I have to activate my approach. Keep forgetting that. Okay, now top of descent point turned right in front of us. I think that's going to be the plan. We are going to go close to top of descent because we have to avoid a lot of terrain, and then once we see it, we can go ahead and activate our approach, and then we'll still use the heading mode. We are not using nav until we are clear of all the terrain, and that's when we'll start using our nav mode. Right now we are very close to top of descent. Our Ns and Ts are all greens in terms of engine. Right here, engine panel, And I'll start making my left turn here. And as we start our descent, I'm gonna lower the altitude all the way to 350, so that way our VNAV can take us all the way down until we are clear of everything and we are ready to deactivate our autopilot and hand fly the landing. And VPATH is armed, VPATH is activated. I'm gonna cut down my power here to make sure we don't overspeed on our descent, and we have started descending. We're gonna try to stay below 150 knots, around like 145 knots throughout our descent. There are multiple activate approach chances, so once we are clear of these, we'll just do one more activate approach and then we can turn on nav. So what my plan is, let me clear that and go close. So once we cross this area where we are free of all the mountains, once we are right somewhere over here, we're gonna turn on our nav and we'll go to procedure and activate approach one more time, so we are lined up with the GPS line. And yeah, that is the plan as of right now. The descent is going pretty well. We are within the range of flaps 1, which we will do once we cross, or once you're about to cross straight point. Also, another update, I have moved on from my Airbus side stick to the flight yoke system from Logitech. I'm just using the yoke. I had this from a long time, but I didn't use it, and now I wanted to test it out again. I love the side stick. I got used to it, but also I wanted to try something different. So now I'm using the yoke. It was a little bit uncomfortable before. The landings are a little bit not as smooth as before. I'm just used to the side stick, so trying to get back to that same rhythm with the yoke now. We're about to cross that mountain range. I'm gonna increase the zoom of my map on the MFD. We are within flaps 1 speed range, so we're good. 145 is our target, so let's stay within 140 for the descent. Our airfield should be somewhere right over there. Really excited to see the base that I chose. I did not I literally didn't look too much. I just went on the map, chose an airport and finalized it. It's an Air Force base, is it? It's in Anchorage. Yeah, it's right next to the main international airport of Alaska. Or I think it is the main international airport of Alaska. Okay, now that we are clear of those, I'm going to go ahead, procedure, activate it one more time and turn on nav. There you go. Now we are good with the descent and line up with the runway as well. I feel like this way we get to do a lot of flying ourselves as well. Especially once we took off, we definitely have to go different ways and find small passages through mountains for the upcoming flights too. Everything is white on my left. Wow. Jim is enjoying back there. Let's check on our passenger real quick. Everyone doing good. We still have to name few more people. We have Jim right over here, and then behind him There are 3 more passengers. We have some cargo packages right back there. I think that's the 5th passenger because I chose a mixed interior, so that's what they did. I gotta fix that too. Next time, from next flight, we'll choose a, because I think the cargo pods are more than enough for all the cargo that we'll have to carry anyways. Okay, that could be the runway and the airport that we are going towards. Soon we are reaching 1200 feet, so this reminds me to put my altitude lower, put to 300. Yeah, 300 sounds good. And before that, we're gonna take over and go for the landing. So that is the landing strip. So we're gonna go ahead, put our flaps 1. I'll bring my RPM to max one more time. And we have to stay below 138 knots. For the next flaps, the speed is 120 knots. So we'll try to stay close to that, which means somewhere around 125 to 130. 2950 is altimeter. Let me go through our before landing checklist. Altimeter is set, approach procedure we checked it, and flaps we are setting that up. Once we cross this rateway point, we can go ahead and turn off our yaw damper, and auxiliary fuel pump can come on once we are close. So there you go, we are lining up right now. I can see the runway lights. I'll set the flaps further down. Our engine is looking good. Our next flap speed, our final flap speed is 108 knots, and we're already below that, so we're good in terms of that. Your damper can come off, auxiliary fuel pump can come on, and we are set for landing. I'm gonna kick my rudder pedals one more time, because still dealing with the rudder pedal issue. We are right on final here. We'll set our flaps to full. The runway visibility is not that great, but we should be good. One more time, your damper is off, flaps are set. 500. Auxiliary fuel pump is on, and we are set for a landing. I think I'll take over from here. Yep, I can see the runway, autopilot is off, and we are set for landing. Not too much wind. I mean, there is literally no wind. I think there is a little bit of headwind. Yeah, actually there is no wind. It's 0 knots of headwind. And our speed is good now. Hopefully our first landing in Alaska is going to be one we remember, not in a bad way. There you go, we landed. Wow, that was smooth. Okay, we're set here. I'll zoom on the MFD map and we'll take the next taxiway to the right, and then we'll find a spot right there for parking. Auxiliary fuel pump can come off, flaps can come up, fuel condition lever can come to low idle, and landing and strobe lights can go off, taxi light come on. I see there's a general aviation ramp right over there. How do I enter this? Yeah, it's through here. So I'll show you the landing vertical speed and everything once we are parked and everyone gets off the aircraft. I didn't even feel that we already touched down. That was crazy. Usually I'm like aware, okay, now we touched down, but this one it was just, oop, we are going down, 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 and touch down. And I think we are set right over here. Parking brake can come on. Let's go ahead, turn off our generator, alternator. RPM can come low. Auxiliary bus can go off. Auxiliary fuel pump can go to off mode, and let's
Engine
turn off our
time
lights.
logged. The flight is finished.
That is it.
It has been monitored by
Our flight
OnAir.
is finished, and it already says we reached level 2. So this was a special mission to come back to our home base after buying the aircraft. There you go, we are already at level 2, and this is our landing data. It was a smooth, not very smooth. The landing G was a little bit high, 1.08. Landing speed was 66 knots, not really bad, and landing vertical speed was 111. Still not as smooth, but I mean, it's fine. Soft landing, all the bonuses, we got all of them, and this was it. This was our first mission. This was actually very, very fun, and I'm very excited and pumped for the rest of the missions in Alaska. We're gonna go ahead, slowly turn off everything. Beacon light can come off. What is this? Snap light. What is that? Yeah, nav. Why is nav light button not working? Okay, we gotta fix that. Interesting. Okay, I don't know why that was causing that issue, but yeah, we made it down. We made it safe, and it was a beautiful flight. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys are gonna join in for all the other ones that are coming up in this series. I'm very, very pumped, and I'll see you in the next one.